Hello, hello, party people. It is Randy for Thunderhorse Descendant. I'm here today with you guys. You wouldn't even believe it. August Bargain Bead Box. August now. August. Just a premise. This is August. Project number 2. Because your girl's behind. But here we are. I figure I better get some August up before we really bust into September. It's been sitting down here in the box for a week or so. And I haven't even opened it. I've been avoiding the internet. Trying not to look. But, you know, we got things and stuff going on around here, so it's fine. We're just doing the best we can. Let me premise this video by saying this is a working studio. This is the Thunderhorse Descendant studio where we are packing and shipping both of your jewelry orders and your bead supply orders and things and stuff. We also have pets. Lots of pets. Lots of pets. If you have hear some pet noises, that's what's happening. But anyway, here we are with project number 2. This is the bracelet project. I'm super excited. I'm going to use a few little shortcuts today because we do have a bunch of other projects to make that I got to record. So, got to get going. It's good. Got to get fast. So, without further ado, let's get on down to the mat. Get this party started. Alrighty, here we are on the mat. See if I can even remember what's going on. Jeepers. Oh good, we got notes. Let's see what our notes say. 4 to 4.5 inches of beading. Oh yeah. Okay. Leather or denim. Eyelets. Oh, we gotta get some eyelet stuff. Okay. Well. Alright, let's see what we got for beads. We're going to use these guys, these guys, these guys. We're going to use this toggle clasp. Smashing. What's this? Little tiny space beads. Alright. Well, I'm just going to start on into it. So first things first, we're going to get set up here. We're just going to get quicker. That's what. This is going to be the video of how to get quicker. Okay, what do we got? Okay, leather pieces. So, one of the ways I got quicker was I went over to my Sizzix machine and I said, hey man, do we have anything I could use? And it turns out that we did. These are little pieces of leather that I cut out on my Sizzix machine, just using a die from like some earrings or something. So these are small. They're a diamond shape. I'm going to tell you the dimensions of them. So we have one, just about 1.5 inches across. 1 1/4 inches up and down is what I got. So now you could cut this out. You could find any girl. You could find anything in your house. Okay, this is what you're gonna do. You can find anything in your house that is a shape that you like. The only thing is that it needs to be a symmetrical shape. So I picked these because I'm going to be able to fold them in half like this. Okay, it can be as big or small as you want. Anything in your house. You put it on a piece of paper and you just trace it out like so. Make yourself a little pattern. Okay, easy peasy. Then you're going to cut this out, this little pattern, and you're going to take it to either your fabric or to your leather, and you're going to get yourself a metallic marker or a white pencil, white colored pencil, or even a white crayon if that's what you got to do, and you're going to scribble it onto, trace it onto your fabric or your leather, and then you're going to cut that out. If you're going to use leather, I highly recommend using a Japanese steel scissor because they work really good. If not, use what you got. Easy peasy. Then you make 2 of them. Alright, so first things first, we are, I wonder if I even have a bracelet board. Do I have a bracelet board? Let me see. I do. It's got coffee all over it, but whatever, that's not the point. Let's see. 4 inches is equal to what? 10.5 inches of beading, is that right? 10 inches of beading. Alright, I'm going to use this side. Well, I guess I could use this side. It's upside down, but you get the point. I just want to see how many beads I need to use here. So I'm just going to dump them in there. I don't usually use a design board because, frankly, I don't know how. But, you know, in the interest of saving time. Okay, so I'm leaving a little extra space here. I should actually, I'm going to take this one out because it's funky. And also, let's just get, because we're going to put spacers in there, right? Okay, so I get 3 inches of beading. Not including the spacers. 1 inch is reserved for spacers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 beads? Okay. 10 beads. 10 beads with spacers. Alrighty. These ones are the same size, so 10 of these as well. Eight, 9, 10. Now these are a little smaller, and I will put no spacers with these, so we need 4 inches of this. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20 crystals on the money. Alright. Thank you for the assist, beadboard. You go back on the wall, not to be looked at for another... I can't get it up there. Not to be looked at for another 6 months or so. Okay, so this is what we're going to use. Now, we need to poke some holes in here, but first we need to get our stringing portions ready. So let me show you a little trick about that. Let's get in the right drawer here. Here we go. And I'm going to use gunmetal, so I need some silver. Okay. So, here's a little trick you could use if you were ever so inclined. Or you could actually just get your stuff ready. 1, 2, 3. Okay, these are from Beadalon. These are Easy Crimp Ready Strands. Okay, that's what they are called. And they come, they're not actually designed for this purpose, but we're going to use them for this purpose. They come with, well, my camera focus. The Easy Crimp attached already on one side with a lobster claw on it. Then it has the other side, as you can see, ready to go for you to just bead it and then crimp it up. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 3 of these, and I'm going to take the other side off and the lobster claw. And we're just going to utilize these as ready to go wires, and we're just going to jump right into this project. Now if you didn't have these, that's fine. You would just get your strings ready with horseshoes or whatever, however you would generally start your stringing projects. You get 3 of them ready. So I'm going to take my wire cutter and I'm going to go up here and I'm going to cut off this loop that holds on this lobster claw because it is soldered on all three of these. All right. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to get our hole puncher. So I'm going to use the Euro punch. Now this does a 1.5 millimeter punch. Yeah. And I am going to take a look here at my leather. So when I put my wires in, I'm going to fold this over like this. And so I want to make my holes right here on this edge. So I am going to see if I have a marker I could use that is metallic. Generally a metallic marker will work pretty good if you just got to make a few, you know, a few little things. So if I fold this over, make a little indentation here on the leather for a line for me to follow per se. You can see the line, it's the center, and we have about 1.25 inches. And I just need to put 3 little dots on here. So we're going to call this the center. Let's see, I'll call this one good and this one good. For the most part, they're pretty evenly spaced. When I fold it, oh, throw it across the room, make sure it's bottom. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to punch on those holes. Now I don't have to worry about this one because we're going to come back to that. So I'm going to take my hole punch and I'm just going to go ahead and just punch right on those those marks that we made. Okay. Easy, easy. Just line them up. So line them up there. Okay, so now we have punched the holes. I'm taking my flush cutter and I'm just cutting out the little piece that gets punched. Okay, and then I'm just going to take this little round guy and just kind of go in through here a little bit. Now, leather is going to stretch, okay? Don't worry about that. I got a plan. So now this one's ready to go. So now all you do is you take this one, okay? You put it on top of the other one that you have. Okay, so it's going to be going this way. You're going to take the other one, fold it like you want it to be in the little crease, so kind of got a line to work with. Put this one over the top. And then all you got to do is make sure you're holding it straight. Go in, give her another punch. Okay. Now you might not get all the way through each of these, so then you'll come back and you'll just do it again just to make sure that you got through all the way. I actually did end up getting through all the way, but it's fine. Okay, then we're going to cut out those little pieces so they're not hanging out. They're just little pieces that get that are in the inside. So again, we'll just run these through here. Okay. So now what you're going to do with this is you're going to fold it over like this, right? So you're going to take your first strand. You don't even need to worry about this right now. Let's just zoom in. You're going to take this first strand with your horseshoe or whatever you have on there, right? And you're going to take one of these round beads and you're going to put that on there. Then you can go through wherever you want to start, the middle, not the middle, wherever you want to go. So you can see that this is what we're going to end up with. So then we're going to be ending up closing this over the top and gluing it down. Okay, this stuff is just basically in there so it doesn't come through the leather. Now if you didn't feel safe about that, this is a pretty safe bet. I mean, I don't think you'd have to really jerk on it to get that through there. So we can just go ahead and get this ready so you know what I'm talking about. So you're going to take your next strand, you're going to put your bead on, you're going to go through the other side here. Okay, so now you have two, and the last one, same deal. Okay, now your strands, so you're going to tuck these all in there. Are going to be covered up, and you'll have this all glued down, and then are going to be covered up like this. So I'm going to go ahead and get the glue so I can show you how that's going to look. This is leather glue. Now if you are using leather, it's important to use this leather glue because it's the bomb. I need a paintbrush. Okay, so this is leather glue. This can be found in any Hobby Lobby store, Michael's, you know, you can find it online. You can take a look wherever you need to. Okay, I plugged up the cover in mine. It's like $5. I plugged up the cover in mine a long time ago, so I gotta wing it here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make sure I get this close to the edge on all the edges. It don't matter if you get it on those findings because they're going to be in there anyway. Okay. You just want to make sure you get all the edge of the leather. Get it nicely coated, all the parts. Okay. And then all we're going to do is we're going to make sure these are pulled down, and then when we start to close this up, you kind of got to tuck in those findings. Okay, so you're going to close it up, make sure all those findings are kind of tucked in there in a nice safe way. And then it's going to grab a extra hand, the little crimper thing, and I'm going to crimp it, so I'll be right back. Okay, so this is my extra hand. Also, another option is these guys. If you don't have an extra hand, these are just little clamps. Now I will say the resistance isn't too great, but they will work in a pinch. These you can get at the Dollar Tree, and if you have a little spot, you gotta do a little extra, you know, you could. So I'm just double checking when this is all gluing down. As it's gluing, I'm checking to make sure that it's kind of closed up like a little taco, you know, because I don't want any of those metal parts coming out of there. And when it's done, I am going to go along the edge here with a little glue to glue the edges. So this takes about 15 minutes to dry. So I am going to go ahead after, I'm going to keep looking at it, make sure it's getting in there. As you can see how it's looking here. Nothing poking out the side, looking pretty good. So I'm just going to put it in here. Put this on the top. I'm going to give it a little time to dry, and I'll be right back. Alright guys, it has been about 10 or 15 minutes. I'm going to take this off. I'm not going to worry about finishing up the edges right about now. I'll do that in the end. I'll just go around with a little glue. Right now I just want to be able to get going on the project, but it is looking smashing. Okay, so we got everything in there the way we want it. I'm going to start in the middle with the middle strand, and the middle strand I'm going to have the crystals. And so we had counted out 20 crystals for 4 inches of beading, and I'm just going to put those on here. Okay. Our little stringing portion of the video. So we got 4 inches of beading, each side with the little triangles give us a little extra inch. Then we have the toggle clasp, which is going to give us a little space, and I'm going to use some large jump rings on the end. So we should be looking at about a 6 3/4 to a 7-inch bracelet. Now you could make it longer by adding more beading to the beaded portion here, or you could add more jump rings to the end. So here's what we have, the middle strand. Okay, and then I think on this end I'm going to do these guys, and we said we were going to do some spacers. Now we have to make sure we save 3 spacers for the ends of the bracelet for the other side of this, so I'm going to put those to the side. And I think I'll start with a spacer. And then a bead. Spacer, bead. So we are getting a little extra length, and as you will remember, I kept out an inch, about an inch anyway, of this because of the spacers. So as we're going, we'll see how well we did with that math. I think I'm going to do all of these, and then I may have to add a few more crystals. So I think I can add maybe like 3 more crystals. So at this point we are at 24 crystals. Which is about right. Okay, about 24 crystals, and then up to the top we'll This one just about got away from me. Up at the top, we're going to do the same thing with these white howlite beads. Spacer and then a bead. I don't really care for that one. Didn't really have a whole lot of veining on it. Smashing. And we said these howlite and these green guys are about the same size, so we should be looking pretty good here. Okay. Last one. Oh, look what it did. Dang. Well, he's got to come off there. Okay, and then we started with the spacer. Excuse me. Yeah. So that's pretty good. Let's see. We do need a little space for it to move. I'm just looking. You know, I think we could go a little more. I think we could go a little more on each side. Just a smidge. I always say that and then I'm like, shouldn't have done that. Do 2 beads down here. And we should probably do 2 more beads here. Oh, maybe 3. Guys, we're at 28 crystals. 28. And then two more beads on this side. Alright, I feel a little more comfortable with that. Because we're also going to have our triangle on there. Yeah. Alright, so now to finish up this bracelet, what we're going to do is the first thing I'm going to do is give this all a trim because it's quite excessive. That's just because I was using the necklace strands. So I'm just going to give this all a little bit of a trim so it's just a little more manageable to work with. And then we're going to take our other side, okay, and so since this side is going to be going the opposite, this one, when you put it on, you want to make sure that it's going to be going this way, right? So we're going to start on the nice side of the leather on what I would consider to be the back, and we are going to go through lining these up. making sure they're good. Okay, and putting this one into the last hole. Okay, so now once we get everything on there and tied off and all that stuff, we should have something that looks like this, right? I feel like that'll be fine. If we have to, we can put, what's nice to say, I feel like maybe we can need one more crystal on here. 29 crystals. 29 crystals. See how that looks. Just because when I'm pulling these tight, it's like, yeah, that's better. So we got 29 crystals on there. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to start crimping them off. So I'm going to take, starting with this white, I'm going to crimp these together so I don't lose it. If I can. Okay, starting with this one, we're going to put on a spacer bead, one of the spacer beads we saved out. Okay, and then I have these end crimps. You may have whatever crimps or horseshoes and or just regular crimp beads, whatever you're using. For myself, I got to give this tip of this wire a little bend. And these are easy crimps. So these just go up into here. They come out the top. You pull them down. Okay. And I am going to make sure to leave this a little bit loose, not too terribly loose, but a little bit, because remember this has to make a bracelet shape. I'm not going to move it because it's not tied off. But I am going to give it a little bit of space to move around. Then for easy crimps, you have to have a special crimper. So these are bead-along crimps, so it has a bead-along crimper. And all you do is get it where you want it, and you just set it in there, and you crimp once, and you move down a little bit, and then you crimp again. And this crimp has little teeth inside of it. When you squish it, it bites into the wire. So then you can give it a pull test, which is good. And then we're going to go ahead and just get as close up to that as possible and cut it off. Okay, so since we're going to be closing all this off, I'm just going to cut off this little link with my flush cutter because we don't need any excess in there that we don't need. And we're going to move on to the next one, do the same thing. So we're going to put our crimp bead, I'm sorry, we're going to put our spacer bead, and then give this a little bend. Put this up inside here, pull it down, make sure it's got a little room to move around, not too much, but not too little. And crimp it. I just broke another crimper. This is crimper number 2. Crimper number 2. Busted. But I did manage to get this guy crimped. Pull test. Give it a trim. Give that a little flush cut. Okay, on to the next one. We're doing pretty well, minus the crimper. Spacer bead. And then your crimp. back that up just a smidge. It can move. Yep. Now, let's see. Where's my regular crimper at? That one's got a round in it. So I am just going to try to crimp this with a flat. Let's see what we get. It should bite in the way the other one does because it's just a flat situation. Yeah, it looks like it's gonna smash it. Alright, so cut this off and cut off this little link. Okay. I'm loving it already. Okay, so for this guy, again, we're going to do the same thing on this side. Yeah, that one did have a little bit more. That one I had a little bit more length in it. Okay, you see this one? I'm not in love with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab up one of these teeny mini little bead covers. And I'm going to put this in here in the leather part. To just eat, yeah, see that? Now it's not, there's no wire showing. It's smashing. Alright, get the paintbrush and the glue, and we're going to do this again. Alrighty, ladies and gents, it's been another 15 minutes or so. It's actually been more like 20 minutes. And this is all looking pretty good. So, now all we gotta do is finish it up. So there's a lot of options of how you could finish it up. It's completely up to you. But what I'm gonna do, I was gonna do some eyelets and stuff, but I think since I decided to go with this little pointed area, I don't think that I will go with that because I don't know. Also, I just don't want to. So I am just going to punch a hole. I also figured, you know, maybe some of you guys don't have the capacity to do the eyelets, so this will probably just be easier for everybody. So all I'm going to do here is I am going to take this and I'm going to punch a hole in it. I'm going to go in about 1/4 of an inch. I want it to be, it's kind of not centered. That was kind of not centered, so I'm going to go over a little bit. Okay, that's pretty good. And down here on the end as well. And I'm kind of just eyeballing this. And making sure that it went all the way through. Go. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, easy peasy, I'm just going to use an oval jump ring. You could use a round one or whatever you got. I do have some gunmetal ovals here, so I'm going to use those. See if that'll work, which I'm pretty sure it will. And then I'm just going to put this in there. So now, see, this is why you want to cut these little guys off with your flush cutter very carefully. I'll try this, but I don't know if it's going to work. Put this guy on there. See what we get. I mean, okay. It's okay, I think. Let's close her up and get the full effect. Yeah. See, when I put it this way, it's going to pop off or pop up. And I don't want that. So I'm going to take that off of there. I feel like if I had a smaller one, I'd probably be in better shape. But because this is dark leather and these are gunmetal ovals, I should be pretty okay. I'll put one on the other side. Easy peasy. Alright, and now we are going to use 2 others to attach our stuff here. So I am going to put on this side. Now, if you wanted to use some charms or something, you could put those on wherever you want. I gotta have one more. All the animals are down here. It's about 4:30, and about 4:30 they're like, oh, is it 6 o'clock? Dinner time? Let's start the whining. Let the whining start at 4:30. So that's what you're hearing in the background. Just some good old-fashioned animal whining. I don't know if I'm in love with how that's laying. Let me see how it lays when I cinch it up. I mean, I guess it's fine. I guess it's okay. I feel like it's twisted though. I feel like it's twisted. Let's see where we are on size. So this is going to, I gotta do it like this so I can get it on here otherwise. Okay. Putting it on myself. Okay. So that's gonna fit me. It's a little loose for me even. So I would say this is probably 6 3/4, which is about exactly where we want it to be. I am very happy with it. I got to do the corners. I'm going to just put a little glue very lightly. I'm not going to clump it on or anything because I don't want it to really stand out when it dries. So I'm just going to do a little bit on the edges there for safety. But for the most part, those are going to stay in there good. Here's what this looks like. I am happy with this. If you want a little more length, you could add another to this one here probably, or to both, whichever you want to do. But I am very happy with how it turned out. Let me put it on the bracelet sizer so you can see it. Where's the bracelet sizer? Okay, so, oh, we actually have 7. It's actually 7. 6 3/4, 7. So that's about exactly where I wanted it to be. I am very happy with how it turned out. It turned out the way I envisioned it to turn out, so that's good. I really like it a lot. I like it a lot more than I thought that I would. These little leather pieces make it feel kind of interesting and substantial. I like those a lot. So yeah, I dig it. I love the gunmetal findings. So there we go. August Bargain Bead Box, project number 2 with beads to spare. With beads to spare. But yeah, I'll get you guys some photos, some more close photos, but I mean, I really like the way that it turned out. I hope that you guys are enjoying these videos, and thank you so much for being patient with me as I'm working on getting through the boxes. I hope you're all having a wonderful, spectacular, amazing beading day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.